There's a new term going around that I just recently found out about called vibe coding. And honestly, I didn't know what this was until I did a live stream and people started asking me, what do I think about it? So this is what we're going to be doing in this video. And after doing a little bit of research into this terrible name for what it is, basically vibe coding is you code without knowing about the code, right? You code without touching the code. And so how do you do that? You can either, I guess, type into a prompt. I think people are saying that you can actually use like diction. So like I could turn on diction and start talking, and this could be the way I can talk to the AI. I've done a video of this like 6 months ago or something, even more than that. And it just, the results were not really good. All right, so let's start simple. I have a Vite app created, so it's going to be a React single page application. The reason I did that is I think typically when you start adding on stuff like Next.js or TanStack, the AI struggles to do simple things. And I don't want to waste a bunch of time like configuring it to know how to build a React app. I'm going to move my head down here real quick. I think it just gives more real estate to view what's going on the right. Okay, so we're going to make a 3D game, and it's going to be using React 3 Fiber. So let's think about what exactly the game should be. I think we could keep it simple, kind of like Minecraft-esque. So like a bunch of cubes, and you can walk around, maybe collide with them. And you set up an initial React 3 Fiber game where I'm a player. I can move around with WASD, and I can jump. Now I'm going to go ahead and just switch this from ask to agent. Because, I mean, we don't want to ever have to touch much on the computer, right? We don't want to have to do our job. We want the AI to do the job for us. I'm just kidding. You should actually know how to code too. So let's go ahead and just run this command. You can manually copy this if you want to and paste it in, or you could just have it run. Now, I would be careful. Like, just read those commands and like verify that, you know, they're doing what you think they are. It would be nice if you could skip. Like right now, it's either you cancel and you have to like continue, or you can tell it to run the command, but it's like, or you could do auto run. I probably would not recommend doing that. So let's just run it. And it's going to go ahead and like load up a terminal and then run that command. So it's going to npm install React 3 Fiber. It looks like some packages. I think DREI is like a helper package in React Fiber. So it's going to take a little bit of time. It has to go and like create these different files and hook them together. And then it finds like lint errors. And then it has to like re-prompt it and refix the lint errors. I don't know if I have any more fast credits. Maybe that's why it takes so long, but okay, let me just accept this. I'm so tempted like to look at code when it generates code, but I can tell that it's already kind of like broken, right? All right, so we have a little box here. It's like jumping. You can't even see it from the background though. So I think we should probably prompt AI to change the background to be cubes that are like tiled with colors. This is good, but I cannot see any of the materials on the 3D objects. Could you change the plane to be a gradient? Go ahead and give it some big words so it has to think a little bit harder, a gradient, you know? But to be serious, I have found if you give it really specific things, it can do a much better job. If you give it a really generic sentence or like one sentence with no detail, it can struggle as well. So anyway, this looks like it's done. Let's just accept all. And now we have a little bit different. We can kind of see the ground, but I set a gradient. So I want it to really just figure out how to do a gradient here. Instead of making the ground a solid color, can you make it change colors as the X and Y positions change? All right, so now it's bringing in a custom shader material. I feel like this is something that should be baked in to React 3 Fiber. So I think it's already doing something that it probably shouldn't do. But what do I know? I shouldn't be looking at the code, right? Let's accept it. Let's go back. Okay, so we got a little shader that's changing the texture of the plane. Can you create a 30 by 30 by 30 cube of different color cubes and have the player spawn on top of it? All right, let's accept all, and then let's go back to this game, and it looks like it might be broken. So let's go ahead and refresh. All right, let's just rerun this. It looks like it's crashing on something. So I guess we'll copy and paste this. I don't know what it does. That's the point. You're vibing. You have no idea what you're doing. You just keep on asking AI to do your thing, and then you give it to your boss and say, look how smart I am. All right, let's try this again. Accept. Game is still broken. Game is still broken. Okay, let's try this. Okay, now there's no errors. So I don't think it's even rendering the player anymore. The error's gone, but I just don't even see the player. I also don't see the 30 by 30 by 30 cubes. So far, my critique of brainless coding is you have to have patience. Like you have to sit here and wait a little bit for it to actually generate the results and then like to test them out. The question is it generating results faster than you could have just done it yourself? Some would argue yes. I would argue probably not for me because this is a 3D game. I don't know what I'm doing here. But it made progress. We have a cube on top of a plane that seems to be changing colors because of this weird shader, and I don't see the player. So we'll go back and tell it to put the player on top of these cubes. Can you put the player on top of these cubes? And again, the player is supposed to be able to walk around with WSAD in a first-person shooter type of view. Now, one piece of advice I would give if you want to do brainless coding is you want to use a typed language. Like, I feel like I've been doing this a while, and when you actually have types that light your code base up red when you have issues, the AI is actually able to look at those and then it tries to fix them further. Otherwise, you're doing a lot of like copying and pasting various places that tell it to like fix stuff. But for the most part, I mean, I've done this as well with Python code, and it seems like it works pretty fine on Python code. All right, it looks like I'm spawned, but when I look down, it's like there's a bouncing cube or something. So let's just go ahead and try to fix it. It seems like I spawn, but I'm like bouncing constantly. All right, it says the bouncing is happening because we don't actually care, because we're not supposed to be watching that or reading it. We're supposed to be mindlessly coding. So let's just go ahead and check out the app. I'm going to accept all over here, and we're going to refresh again. And I'm still bouncing around. I still seem to be bouncing around. Can you spawn me really high above these cubes so I can actually verify if I'm spawning above them? Now we're doing a little bit of AI debugging, all right? We have to ask AI to look through the code to tell us how this is working. But then we have to ignore everything it explains to us because we don't care. I do see a lot of use memos everywhere. I don't know if that's supposed to be happening with a React 3 Fiber, but we're going to go ahead and accept this. Okay, again, here we are. Oh, I think it's because we're huge. Okay, the player is huge. Can you make the player a fourth of a size of a cube? Let me know, guys, if you like this position of my camera, if you like it in the bottom left. I just feel like when I'm coding, the tree browser is just not very important. I could also swap my tree browser to be on the right, but it feels like AI is going to be useful a lot more when I'm coding, so it's like good to just keep it open. And when I say useful, I mean like not for doing much, because this can't even build this game. Okay, so let's just keep asking again. You know, something I forgot to do is like I can take screenshots and then paste it to the AI. All I see as a player is this red bouncing cube, and it looks gigantic. Can you fix this? I want to make a game that's a first-person shooter, kind of like Minecraft. I guess first-person view, I should be saying, not shooter. It's probably going to confuse it. Now we're in a different white bouncing cube. Okay, so not sure what's going on there. You just made this game worse. Now we're inside of a white bouncing cube. I should be able to move around and collide with these cubes, and do not spawn me inside of these cubes. I think I'm like a fourth of the way to crash out. I can feel it. Like I'm already starting to get a little frustrated at it not being able to understand. And I do think if you know more about the domain that it's working on, like you could probably give it more specific language, and it could kind of figure out, okay, like I'm sure a good game developer could look at this and like be like, oh, I've coded this bug multiple times, right? It's probably because there's two cubes stuck in each other, but I don't make 3D games, right? So I don't have the context. Now, when it comes to web development, I can quickly like tell it how to fix a bug that I've seen like 20 other times, right? I think it does help to be very specific and know the domain of what you're trying to work in. Okay, so now, oh, we made some progress. Hold on. After a certain angle, it breaks. Now, after I look up, after a certain angle, my game tends to break. Like I can't see the blocks anymore. It goes gray. Based in a gray picture, so it can really understand what I'm talking about. Listen, I don't care why it's happening. Just fix it for me. Okay, that's what I'm paying you a subscription for. You fix my code. You don't need to explain it. Now, with jokes aside, if you're learning how to code, you should probably be reading through this. You should understand what it's doing, going and look at the code, compare what its suggestions are against the code. You need to understand the code that it's building. If you want to do whatever this approach is to coding, I wish you some luck, because it's struggling. It's struggling a lot. Now, another thing that I've done before is like I've just made a whole brand new chat because I'm like, dude, you just can't seem like you can get this correct. So I can make a brand new context window so that it hopefully doesn't know about the stuff I was just talking about. Sometimes this makes stuff worse. Sometimes it makes it a lot better because it has like a clean, fresh memory and it knows how to like find stuff that's relevant versus it maybe having really old code in its context. That's just what I think. I don't know. Okay, I'm still just not able to look up past a certain amount. It makes all the white cubes beneath me turn gray and vanish. Could you also change the colors of the cubes to be not white? Could they just be different alpha numeric RGB colors? I don't know if I explained that very well. I don't even think I know what I was trying to say there. Okay, it's changing colors based on XY positions. Okay, that's literally the same thing. This thing is stupid. You know, I'm gonna slap a picture in there. I want the cubes to look like this. This is the life, you know? Don't have to actually learn what you're doing. You just type in some text and click send. And then you just keep on trying over and over again until it works. And again, as I look up, it like, my vision goes gray. I wish you could upload a video. Can you upload videos? Like imagine if I could take a screen recording of the bug and just send it to AI. Or it could just be like watching my screen the whole time because that sounds secure. And then it just like fixes stuff for me. I guess that's what Dev1 was supposed to be for. When I look up, again, all the cubes vanish. And all I see is a gray screen. I think this was a new context window. I don't know if we've even asked about, I talked about the vanish up here. So again, one thing I would recommend is do not ask it to do 3 things at the same time. One at a time, okay? You got to feed it in like a pipeline. But a cool trick that I have heard is you can actually have another cursor window open, pointed to the same code base, and you can actually have multiple chat prompts running at the same time, and they're going to change different parts of your code. I have not tried that. That'll be something that I could probably try because it sounds pretty crazy, but at least I'm on top of it. I think I'm actually on top of it. It seems like the player is huge. Can you make sure that he's small enough to fit on top of one of the map cubes? Let's try this out. And I wanted to say one thing I've noticed about AI now is that you can actually like send it a screenshot of something that has text in it and it runs OCR over it pretty good. Like I think like 4 or 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I had to try to install like Google Tesseract and run OCR over some like snippets of text, and it did a very, very bad job. Like it's just pretty inaccurate most of the times. Now that was a long time ago, but the fact that I can just take a screenshot of some text and like paste it into, you know, Claude or whatever, and it extracts the text pretty accurately from that. It's kind of impressive. Okay, I need help debugging. All I see is a giant green cube. I was supposed to see like a 20 by 20 by 20 collection of cubes. But when I spawn, I can only see one, and they're all the same green color. It's really struggling with that reference image I gave of like the rainbow cube. So it's like one of those things where it's like, am I just spawning too high? Am I maybe spawning too low? I feel like I'm kind of stuck wherever I spawned. I see the issue. There are a few problems in the code structure component that needed to be fixed. I wish AI would say, I'm sorry, I coded this incorrectly. Just, it needs to own up to its responsibilities because it's doing a very bad job. All right, please do something good. Now you spawn me to the right of it. Okay. This is great, but you spawned me in a location that made me drop forever. Can you instead spawn me on top of this cube system? So while it's cooking, if you were a 3D game dev, how long would it have taken you with whatever your favorite library is, or language, how long would it have taken you to build out a game that's first person view that has a 20 by 20 by 20 system of cubes, and you're just supposed to be able to land on them and walk around? I feel like in Unity, this would have taken maybe like 5 minutes max. I've watched some YouTubers who do Unity dev, and like you can achieve quite a lot. Okay, this is cool. So now I'm actually on top of all these green boxes. Again, I should be able to move around. We need it to add some type of physics system. So I'm actually try with a new thing here and just delete this. And I'm curious, if you prompt it with like, you are a 3D game engineer, does that actually improve results? You are a 3D game engineer. I need you to make the player movable, and he should be able to collide with the green cubes that are below him. And if he were to walk off the cubes, he would fall because of gravity and physics. He would collide with the floor plane and not actually fall through. That one was a little bit detailed, so this could be a hit or miss. So far, it's been quite a lot of misses when trying to build out this 3D game. And I would say most of the things it's getting wrong, it's not getting syntax wrong. So I think it understands React Fiber pretty well, and it understands React well enough to like hack code together. It's just semantically wrong, right? It's like logically wrong. It's not following my, like what I'm telling it to do. I still can't move. I can look around a little bit, but I literally can't do anything. I'm still just stuck on top of the cube system. I can't seem to walk around by pressing WASD, and I can't I'll stop there. Let's keep it as simple as possible. It just talked about pointer lock. That does not sound like what I wanted at all. Like, what is this? Click to start. Okay, now I can't even... Okay. I'm starting to crash out a little bit. I didn't ask you to add a pointer lock system. I can't move my player around with WASD. Fix the movement. I apologize. That's right. You should apologize because you're just making us frustrated by not doing what we ask you to do. And I'm curious, is AI actually running sentient analysis on my questions? Because I didn't know I was angry. Did I sound angry there? I didn't ask you. I guess that's kind of aggressive, huh? All right, let's just test this out, and we're going to go ahead and just run the game. You know what? I'm going to do a hard refresh on this because I wonder if what if it's actually fixing stuff and I keep on telling it to fix stuff? And okay, now it got rid of the whole first person view type of thing. So I feel like I'm just confusing this AI a lot. I apologize for being angry my last prompt. I just need you to add back the first person view camera locking. But I additionally need you to be able to move the player around by pressing WASD on my keyboard. Sometimes you gotta apologize. You don't want Claude to just decide that it doesn't want to interact with you. They're probably keeping some type of credit system on your account, and as you are just abusing, they go ahead and just make the prompt come back really bad. So you gotta be nice. You gotta apologize. They're trying to train us to be better humans, which, I mean, that's honorable, right? Let's just go ahead and refresh. And again, oh, I got the camera lock back. I can look around. This is making some progress. See, if you ask politely, it tends to do a much better job. I think when you just get a little harsh with the way you're prompting, the AI gets a little nervous and it can't answer the questions properly. So let's try to be nice one more time. This was a great job. Thank you so much for adding this. Can you please just get the player to move around now? He seems like he's stuck on these green cubes. I'm finding that AI is actually just better senior engineering training because it's not about getting the results. It's about being kind to the AI so that it'll give you the results you're looking for. It's kind of like, with a teammate, you got to be kind, you got to be nice, you got to be collaborative with them. There's a time to be nice, but now let's get back to being a little bit angry because it's not fixing this freaking thing. Hey, I still can't move the player. Just add movement to the player. That's it. That's all I'm asking. Not that hard. You are a smart, competent AI model. I know you can do this with all of your trained GitHub source code data. Just add movement to the player and don't let them get stuck on blocks. I'm telling you, they'll let any model in these days, just any AI model, they're just letting through. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of out of ideas right now. I cannot move. So I guess I could try doing a whole brand new prompt and just be like, hey, I'm trying to build a 3D game that has a player who can move around with WASD on top of a collection of cubes. Right now, my game doesn't seem to allow me to move my player. Could you try to fix it? All right, let's just go ahead and accept this, and we're going to go and refresh our page. I still can't move my character. I wonder if it's actually moving a player down there, but the camera is just stuck and it's not attached to the moving player. Okay, it's saying that the issue is because I don't have a click to start mechanism. Is that truly the issue? Why would that be the issue? Okay, I'm just going to let it add that. It seems really eager to add a click to start, so I'm going to let it have its way. Okay, thanks for adding that. Very, very smart idea. Could you please just let the player move around when I press WASD? Can you double check the code even has event listeners on the keyboard? At what point do you give up, at what point is it 20 prompts in? That's when you should give up? Is it 10 prompts in? What is the magic number where you're like, dude, I don't care how much you hype up the term vibe coding, it's just not vibing too well. It just doesn't even seem like it does what it needs to do. I can't even, it's not even pointer locking anymore. Now the camera is not following the mouse. Did you destroy that code? We got it back, but we cannot move. We still can't move. By the way, I did edit this video to make it more concise, but this is all live. I literally just sat down and I've been just prompting this thing over and over again, and it cannot figure out how to get this player to move. So at this point, I'm going to have to cheat and actually care about the code because I don't know how else it's going to be able to figure it out if it can't access my Chrome browser. This is the output. The player, this is the output. The player still can't move. The logs show that every movement attempt is being blocked by a collision. Yeah, didn't I tell you that like 20 minutes ago? I said like, can you check the stuck behavior or something? All right, let's go back and check this game. Okay, let's, oh, it's actually working. Oh, dude, this is sick. I can actually like see stuff. I'm just playing. I wish. All right, let's just go back. We're going to refresh this. I still cannot walk around with WSAD. Like, it just doesn't seem like it understands what I mean by walk around. I need you to add 3D physics to this game. The player should be able to walk around on top of this plane. Like, I don't know what else like I should say. Okay, so finally, after many prompts, it finally recognizes that maybe you should add in a physics engine to my game. So again, if you actually knew what the hell you're doing, you could have said, I need you to add Rapier to this game. And then like, it would probably just work. Like, I don't know what the keyword was. Maybe it's a 3D physics keyword. Just telling it to add movement to the block wasn't enough for some reason. The requested module. Okay, we're getting an error. I'm getting this error. Okay, so at this point in the video, I mean, like, if you were kind of scared about what vibe coding is, we're not there yet. It's just not, we're not there yet. Maybe I just am not prompting correctly. Like, I don't know enough about 3D game engines to tell it how to, like, actually get the player to move, because, like, right now, he just cannot move. The end goal for you is to make the player move around on top of this plane. He still can't seem to move. The sad part about this is I know if I just started with this 3D Rapier engine, it would have had a example project I could have started from. So I could have had a nice reference point that has a game that's close to what I need, and then I could build upon that game using AI. And I have found that AI tends to do much better when it has code that's already there, and the code that was written properly by like an actual game engineer. But I guess that makes sense because, I mean, these AI systems were trained on like tons of random projects, right? So when I tell it to do game development code, it's almost like I would rather have like a vector database of just game development code. And then I could train an AI model over that, so that when I ask questions, it's very specific of like answering with the proper type of design patterns that you might use in a game or whatever libraries. Because you get into situations like this where it's like it cannot solve problems that I know if I were to start a tutorial from scratch showing you how to build this, like I could do it very easily. At this point, I'm going to stop. This is just terrible. I'm going to stop and I'm going to just do a, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. I'm going to do a wipeout. I'm going to delete that. And I'm literally going to delete everything here. Like all this stuff is just gone because I just don't know what's going on. And I don't think the AI knows what's going on either. So we're going to do a little intervention here. I'm going to try starting fresh. Okay. Can you please make me a 3D game using React 3 Fiber and the Rapier React Free plugin physics engine? I just need a simple game where it's first person view. I can move around on top of some type of map and collide with the objects in the map. Oh, then it tries to create a whole brand new project for me. Why? I already have a project. Look at my code. And at this point, like, what is the AI giving us? It's just cutting out the step of me going and finding a tutorial project and just cloning it. Like, that's literally all it's doing for us right now. So this video has not been very successful with just vibe coding. Okay, let's just go ahead and run this command. Like, why not? Run it. Pop it out in a terminal. There, you happy? You ran the command. Okay, let's accept this. We're going to refresh. Okay, now we have a game with a little bit of things on it. Now, the ultimate question, can you make it so I can move this player around when I press WASD around this map? Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe you should call it 10 minutes in. If you can't make progress with whatever it's giving you, just call it, do a git stash, do a clean slate, try to tackle it from another approach, try to tackle it from having a base template starting project. Because that last amount of time I spent coding, like it was pretty bad. Okay, why is this failing again? This is so bad. I think I'm reaching my breaking point, honestly. I think this is my crash out. I'm going to try to see what it can do with this error, but I'd be curious. Leave a comment below if you tried only coding with, you know, speech to text and didn't actually ever touch the code at all. Like, how much were you able to build without touching the code at all? Because I think we're getting lied to by the people using the term vibe coding. Because at the end of the day, I think they're just trying to market you to buy their products. Ultimately, it always boils down to, right? Can you make the camera be a first-person view and attach it to the player in front of it? Yeah, this is the last prompt. I know I'm going to have to edit this video and spend a bunch of time editing it because I had to do a bunch of waiting for this stuff to finish. So let's try this again. Refresh. Wow, I can look around kind of, but like why is it tilting? And why can't I click and hold? Bro, this is the worst game. I feel like if you told someone the prompts I was getting and they delivered this, I'd be like, okay, are you okay? Like, do you not understand what I'm telling you? Because this should have been simple from my perspective. I just need a first-person game where I can look around and not have it tilt when I move my mouse. Can I even collide with these things? Okay, well, give us some credit for that. I can collide with these things. But I just really want this game to be like somewhat prototyped, you know? Like, this isn't even prototype at this point. This is just garbage. You're so close. Can you please just make the camera movement be like a normal first-person shooter game? So when I move my mouse to the right or left, it turns the player left and right. Oh, it's gonna get confused on that. Let me just fix that. This is so strange because like I use AI literally every day in all my other coding aspects, and like I've never seen it perform this poorly before. Like I don't know if maybe the system is overwhelmed or I'm out of like smart credits. Maybe I'm down to like the dumb credits now. If that's even a thing, I don't think they even charge that. I think it's either fast credits or standard credits, but I just feel like I've been kicked off Claude now. I'm using some other thing. This is what it looks like when I move my mouse to the right. It like tilts my camera instead of rotating it. I'm just gonna make a new terminal because it crashed because my picture. I don't know what happened there. Okay, we're almost there. No, we're not. We're in the exact same boat as before. It's like, do I have caching turned on? Like, I feel like it's not actually changing anything half the time. This doesn't seem like you fixed anything. I still can't rotate the player clockwise and counterclockwise when I move my mouse left and right. I want this to be like every other first-person shooter game ever created. But more importantly, maybe Half-Life 2, because it's the best one. Okay, it's just doesn't get it. It just doesn't get me. You just don't listen to me when I ask you to build features. I feel like I'm being just ignored here, and it's just very disrespectful. So I'm going to go ahead and just say this is my crash out. That was vibe coding for you guys. I would love if someone else told me that they've had a better experience with it. Maybe my project's too small. And I should have started with like a baseline project, but these are the things you're going to go through if you do not know the code that's being written. And so again, whoever turned up this name vibe coding, I bet you money he has investments in certain products that he recommended to like do the speech to text, or to he's in the AI model space or something. I'm just saying, but hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day. Happy coding.